I was born in 1988 in Soviet-occupied Latvia. I lived there for 5.5 years in an institutional orphanage. I was premature by a month and a half. In the orphanage, we got really little to eat, and I was nonverbal. They took care of all physical needs, but they didn't, cuddle us or tell us how much they loved us. Like, I didn't celebrate any birthdays. There were no holidays. All my documents don't have my real parents' names on them. So I don't even know their names. I was adopted by an American family called their names are the Andersons. They raised me in a Christian home, and it was a loving home. I experienced a lot of love, and I experienced a lot of things that I did not get to experience in an orphanage. And so when I was adopted, I was exposed to a lot of new things. My parents, they had to figure out how to help me learn about this new world. Like, my mom had to teach me how to hold a hamburger because I never had food that I could just hold like that. It wasn't in the orphanage. They just gave us watery soup. So having a hamburger for the first time was a new experience, and I had to be taught how to play. My sister, who met me at the airport in America, she tried giving me a stuffed bear, a stuffed animal, my first toy, and I didn't know what to do with it because I just held it and it was like, oh, that's nice, and then I just gave it back to her. I didn't understand that she was giving me something. When I went to school, it was a real challenge because I didn't like going to school. The school had a hard time with me because they thought that I couldn't learn how to read. And my mom had to teach me how to read herself. By the time I got to 4th grade, I was able to read. And I think that really helped me in a lot of my barriers to academic access, was because my mom was finally able to crack the code. And it was not until I finally accepted my disability and accepted that I had to do things different way that I realized that it was okay that I could be successful even with a disability. I later was able to go to college, and it's all really because my family had really high expectations for me. They didn't let me excuse my disability because they didn't want me to be treated differently and be treated with discrimination. And I have many friends with IDD, intellectual and developmental disabilities, that have been discriminated against and been institutionalized, been abused in the workplace. And that's why I do disability rights activism now, is I really want all people with IDD to have access to this world and to this community. I am the president of the Pierce County People First chapter, and People First of Washington is a statewide organization that does community engagement with people with disabilities, and Pave office has been really generous in allowing us to use this space for our meetings. They've always helped our chapter be able to use their resource fairs and be part of the Tools for Success conference. Like, they've been really welcoming our chapter and helping us recruit in that way. And so we've just been really thankful that Pave has been so supportive of our People First chapter as well. I got married in 2014, right after I graduated university, and then 3 years into our marriage, I have a little, I I get a bump. There are a lot of cases of women with intellectual and developmental disabilities having their babies taken away from them in the delivery room. And so I really wanted to be prepared and create some protections in place so that wouldn't happen to me. And so Pave, they gave me supports and advice and things I needed to know to prepare for my little one. I'm really glad to work with Pave to help more disabled parents get the support they need. And I think that Pave is a great place that they can go to get those supports like I did. And also I want to keep advocating at the legislative level on why parents with disabilities deserve to keep their children. My hopes and dreams for the future is that the policy issues that self-advocates are fighting for today, that they're able to get changed in the way that we want, that workers with disabilities be paid an equal wage, and that all of our people would be free from institutions. And I hope to be able to run for office someday. That is one of my goals, is to run for the legislature and become one of the first IDD legislatures. The disability, it won't limit me, and you don't need to be scared of disability, and that I can still live a successful life even with my disability.